What is up, family farm viewers, people, watchers, parishioners, fans, subscribers? Yes, subscribers. There you go. All of you are subscribers. Actually, all of you are not subscribers. You should hit subscribe because otherwise you could miss out on some really cool things. And we don't want you to do that because then you'd be sad and you'd cry big fat tears. Today I am working in the White House. Yesterday my friend Ben came down and I forgot to video it because I was just so focused on trying to learn from him, helping me get some trim put up. So we got one window done yesterday before my nail gun gave up on us and couldn't do anything. So we are doing a farmhouse style trim here. Taylor found it. Ben helped me decide what we're gonna do. Down here on the bottom, we don't really have a sill. It's kind of a faux sill. I don't know what you call that, but it looks cool. And so I am gonna try to replicate this in the entire rest of the house. And I am learning that I am a better farmer than I am carpenter. I have gotten started on a fair amount of the flooring in here. And then Ben said, hey, you need to quit, because if you don't quit, then your floor is going to expand and contract and expand and contract, and then you're gonna have problems down the road. So I quit, wait until my HVAC guys got here, who are awesome. And I am gonna wait on the floor until I get the big window done, because I don't want to be walking all over the floor. So here's what we've got done so far. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna get set up so I can do some trim. We're all ready to go. Let's see if we can screw something up. I wrestled my way through my first solo window here. It took me about 3 tries. I opted not to have you guys watch that one, because then you would think I don't know what I'm doing, which is pretty true. So I'm gonna let you watch me do this next one so you can see how we're putting our craftsman style trim in our modern farmhouse. It's 47.5, 35.5. That allows me to build a frame for it. It's going to just sit in here and then we can shim it back and forth so we have the same reveal on both sides. And the sides are 1 3/8 inches less. That'll give us a good reveal. 1/4 inch on every one. So what we're using here is primed MDF. It paints up nice, and it's the cheapest option. So for my sides, I measured 35.5. We need to go 1 3/8 inches less, so we're going to go with 34 1/8. So the jam extensions that I'm using are actually 1x6 MDF. What I'm going to do is rip them down to whatever the width the jam extensions need to be. And normally it's 4.5 inches, but I don't want to screw that up, so I'm going to go back in and double check and measure it. 4.5. We'll set my table saw to 4.5 inches. I always look for an edge that's worse, and that's the edge that I'm going to rip off. Alright, let's go piece it together. When you're setting this up, you're going to need to make sure that you have a fairly level surface. Otherwise, this won't go together well. For this, I'm using 18 gauge 2-inch nails. Shanked a nail. Putting it on the wrong way, guys. Unbelievable. We have a saying around here, if you haven't done it 3 times, you probably haven't done it right. See if I can get it the 3rd time. 4th time. Alright, now when I nail this on, I'm going back to 2-inch nails. And we're just nailing the bottom right down in place. Make sure you guys have a giant pile of shims when you're doing this. So what I'm doing now is just checking my reveal. The reveal is how much of this window is sticking out here from the trim. This is the reveal right here, this space. So we're going for about 1/4 inch all the way around. So what I do, basically just try to get the sides even. Make sure your jam is always pushed back, the jam extensions. Basically just a game of eyeing it to get it right. Now on the sides, we're going to measure, those are 35 and a half. We're going to add a 1/2 inch to that. Measure both sides just to double check. 35 and a half. So we're going to cut those at 36 inches. When it's set in, so you have a quarter reveal of a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch reveal up there. So I'm just marking that, and that is not right. See that? Sticking way out over the bottom. Can't have that, can we? I need to cut it at 35 inches, not 36. Probably won't quit my day job and become a trim carpenter. That looks a whole lot better. 1/4 inch reveal right there. Now for the top and bottom, they in theory should be the same. Still gotta measure 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Mark there. Tells me where I want the boards to line up. My divider boards, I'm going to cut a 1 inch longer so I have a 1/2 inch overhang. Let's go cut some board. Alright, we've got these divider pieces cut to length, but they are sold 1.5 inches wide and I want them 1 1/4 inches, so we're going to rip them down on the table saw so that they match the rest of the house. I'm ripping it down. I try to find the worst side on these, just like I did the jam extensions. Rip that one off. Alright, we're going to nail this together. For this, I'm using 1.5 inch nails. So we have a 1/2 inch of overhang on each of these. Alright, that's the top. We'll do the bottom. Now I've got this line up here that I marked. Set this up here. Line up my middle board with that line. We just tack it up. Do the same on the bottom. Here's the line. It just needs some caulk now. I'm not going to caulk them right now. I am going to keep going on putting these up. That is how an amateur farmer puts in craftsman style extension jambs and casing in a farmhouse.